Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and today we're going to be upgrading my living room TV setup to go from this to this. We're talking new LED lighting that syncs to everything on my screen, including the PS5, Xbox Series, a PC and even movies and TV shows. And this doesn't need a camera stuck to the top of the TV to work. It also supports up to 8K, 144Hz, VRR and HDR. So it's called the 2.1 Fancy Sync Box from Fancyleds. And we're going to test this out to see how good this thing really is, and I've also dropped a link down below if you want to check it out. But first, let me show you what we get inside the box. So it comes with the sync box itself, which is what we'll use to plug all of our devices in later. 4 different plug adapters for the US, UK, Europe and Australia. An LED strip for the back of the TV. Some corner brackets so we don't have to fold the LEDs over. A power adapter and an HDMI 2.1 cable. And then this is everything that we get inside the box, so we should be able to get up and running pretty quickly. Now the next thing we need to do is install the LED strip on the back of the TV. So you can actually buy these in 3 different sizes, 24 to 55, 56 to 65 and 70 to 95 inches. So as my TV is 77 inches, I've gone for the largest one. So we're actually going to start with the corner pieces. So these are designed to stick to each of the 4 corners of your TV or monitor like this. And this will let the LEDs wrap around the corners without you needing to bend or fold them, which is such a clever design. Then the LED strip comes on this reel that we just need to unravel and feed the USB-C cable to the starting point like this. Now for me, this is going to be the bottom right corner of the screen, but you can do this either direction. Then we can remove the 3M tape that's on the back of the strip and start to fit this, trying to cover the entire edge of the TV. Now as this strip can be bought in various sizes, you might need to cut it. And all you need to do is cut on one of the fancy LED logos and you're good to go. So once those are installed, we've got the sync box. Now this little box is the brain or the hub of it all. It's what we're going to use to hook everything up and power it. Firstly, it is no bigger than my iPhone, so hiding it away should be pretty easy, and it's only got 2 buttons on the top. There's also a little panel on the front which shows the Wi-Fi connection and which HDMI ports are currently connected. Then around the back we have 3 HDMI 2.1 ports for plugging devices into, like the PS5 or Xbox Series, 1 HDMI 2.1 out for connecting it to your TV, a USB-C port for the LEDs and a port for the power cable. Then all we need to do is connect the LED strip first, followed by the HDMI in, and then connect the HDMI out from the sync box back to the TV. Then plug the power cable in and we are good to go. Now there is actually a fancy LED app that allows you to connect the sync box to your Wi-Fi and adjust any settings. But fortunately the LEDs do work straight out of the box as well. However, I will show you more about the app later as it does have some really cool features worth checking out. But here's how it looks, and damn, this looks unreal. I love how RGB completely changes the entire vibe of a room at night. So again, this is how it normally looks during the day, and then this is how it looks at night with a new LED strip on the back. Now as mentioned, I am using this with a PS5 Pro. I will hook up the Xbox later, but over the last few weeks I have been testing this out on loads of different games. And so far, every game or scene that I've thrown at it have just looked really impressive. So what it does is it takes the colour from the edge of the screen and then replicates that onto the LEDs behind it. And it gives it this nice glow that I think makes it look even more immersive. I'm actually amazed at how well it matches up as well. Like here, I'm tabbing through the PS5's dashboard and you can see the lights reacting to the different tiles and wallpapers. I actually had this strip installed before the PlayStation State of Play this week. And I'll tell you what, watching that show at 11 o'clock at night with these LEDs on completely transformed that show. But if I show you some gaming that I've done this week, so Saros is a great example as it's incredibly fast and a colourful game. And you can see how the colours of the LEDs react to the colours on the screen, right up to the edges of the screen as well. But it doesn't just take the very edge of the screen either, because if you've got a black letterbox effect, like in a cutscene for example, it's clever enough to know this and then take the colour from the main image instead, giving this really nice effect. However, the great thing is you can enable or disable the aspect ratio to set it either to auto, which is what I use, full or wide. I've also got to show you 007 First Light. So I've been playing this over the last couple of weeks, and honestly, again, playing it with these LEDs completely transforms the game. So here I'm in the nightclub scene with the strobing lights and the neon signs. And as you can see, as I'm moving around, the colours from the signs and even the white from his shirt are coming through onto those LEDs. It is like a perfect match-up to the screen. It also helps that there are 96 LEDs per meter, so you're getting far more LEDs than usual, and as it's RGBW, we're actually getting a dedicated white LED as well. And another thing I love about this is when the areas of the screen are dark, like in this scene, those areas are switched off on the strip completely. So it doesn't just randomly show a different colour or mess with the scene at all, it literally matches the blacks as well as the colours on screen. And then jumping into something like Forza Horizon 6 on the Xbox Series X looks unreal. Now this has been, for me at least, the best Forza game that we've ever had. And these night shots driving through Tokyo City really shows off how the fancy LEDs react to what's on screen. I feel the colour matching in terms of the accuracy of the colours are pretty close as well. Where they're not overly saturated or washed out, they kind of match up pretty well. Now although I rarely use this TV for FPS games, the fact that it is HDMI 2.1 means we're getting the full 4K and 120Hz support, as well as VRR and ALLM. So any games that you need that instant response, you're not going to lose anything by plugging your PS5 into this box first. Also, if you did want to use it on PC, it will support up to 8K as well as up to 144Hz. For me though, I love the fact that there is no camera stuck to the top of the TV. I've been there, I've done that, and although they perform okay, it looks ugly. Sorry, I just had to say it. Whereas this is super clean. There are no cables or camera on show. Everything is plugged into the back, and I'm getting this cool ambilight synced lights on my wall. And something else I wanted to mention was how bright the corners are, because some strips that I've used in the past either need folding or bending, or they just give you this connecting wire with no LEDs at all. This then means that those corners are very dark or kind of cast a shadow, whereas with this one you're getting fuller coverage with no dip in brightness. Of course, on top of using it for gaming, you could easily use this for movies or watching TV. I mean, as long as you can plug your device in via HDMI, you can use this box with pretty much anything. So Apple TV, Netflix, Disney+, any app that you have on your PS5 or Xbox will work on here. Obviously, this won't work natively with the apps on your TV as it does need an HDMI source, but as long as you have those apps on something else, it will work. So firing up Netflix gives us this unreal effect with the boot up sequence. It takes the logo and expands it onto the wall. And then it means any movie that I'm watching, I'm going to get this really nice vibe. I mean, sure, there are times you might rather sit in a dark room, like watching a horror film for example, but you won't need to unplug this, just tap the off button in the app and you've got this blacked out TV setup again. On top of that, the sync box does support HDR and Dolby Vision, so you'll get that pass through to your device that supports it. And you can also use this strip like any other static RGB strip. You can set it to a single solid color, a gradient strip of colors, or even have it react to music that you've got playing. Now this is cool if you want a certain vibe in your room or a theme that you're trying to create. Otherwise, the synced option is what I will use most of the time in the app. And talking about the app, once you've installed it, you can run through the setup process, choosing which orientation you have the LED strip, the brightness, how fast you want the colors to change, and the intensity. For me, I'm currently using 100% brightness, diffusion mode set to high, speed of diffusion set to 25%, and ambient backlight off. But it's worth playing around with the settings to see which one suits your own setup. So the diffusion mode lets you adjust the number of colors per side of the TV for accuracy. The diffusion speed controls how quickly you want the colors to change from one color to another. So faster is better in my opinion, but you might get a little bit of flicker. So you can lower that depending on how smooth or slow you want it. You could even adjust the RGBW colors, so the red, green, blue, and white can be increased or reduced so they aren't as intense or as vibrant as you'd prefer. Now on the whole, the app is okay. I have had a few connection issues where it refuses to find the sync box and doesn't connect at all. Now this doesn't affect the performance of the LEDs, but it can be frustrating when you want to change something and it just doesn't respond. I think though for such a simple upgrade to the setup, this has turned out really well, and it has completely transformed how the setup looks at night. Now as mentioned, the model that I have here is the 95-inch 3-port version, and that is £215. But if you only need the smaller ones or just one HDMI port instead of 3, that will be £148. Or if you're not even bothered about HDMI 2.1, there is an HDMI 2.0 version for £111. But every kit comes with the same stuff that I've shown you today. I have linked to the one that I'm using below if you want to check it out. And I've also not done a living room or TV setup tour for a couple of years. So if you want to see a new one of those, just let me know. Maybe I'll upgrade some more lighting bits before then too. Otherwise, drop a nice gaming likes in the comments and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, check out this video next. As always, thanks for watching, please like, subscribe and follow me everywhere. Until next time.